I've gone through painting white over the little bits that I overrun on, so underneath and around the back and on the bits of wood on the base. I like this one because the base actually comes with some furniture on it, unlike the others. The goblins have got a few little rocks dotted around, but the dwarves have got absolutely nothing. And this is a really dynamic figure. So I shall be working on the coat now. So let's carry on. So I've painted the boots black, gone over various areas with white just to allow me to do lighter colours, and coming on so quite well now. Getting ready to do the wooden parts down the bottom here. Those should be done in wood grain because it's wood, and I've got all these little leaves to do as well. That could be tricky. I mean, imagine painting the leaves green and then doing a wash over them. It can be done. Need to do a bit of work on the jacket, of course, as well. I do like the face. I'm quite happy with the face so far. Do I do eyebrows? Probably. Without mucking it up. But this is such a fine figure for one of the Istari. I will be looking up what his real name is. I mean, Gandalf is Olorin, and each one of the Istari, the 5 wizards, has their own name. I am actually doing research on this. I have read the books many times, and I'm well aware of the Tolkien world. So it's not just about painting the figures, it's about, getting back involved in what he wrote about. What he wrote about, he says. So it's a nice opportunity to delve back into that world. Really enjoying this so far. So let's carry on. I shall do the coat now. And a bit of dry brushing on the undercoat. This bit. Painted with something pointy. This bit here. Let's carry on. Before I do the cloak, I did flat earth on his bag, which has picked out the detail on there quite nicely. I think that needs a thin wash on there, and also a base coat on the hat. And on the sleeves here I've done a once over with burnt umber, so I'm going to do a bit more work on that and do some highlights. Done a grey wash on the beard just to get it into the folds there. It's a bit shiny at the moment because it's wet paint. And black wash on the coat here. And a grey wash on the hedgehog because he's carrying a little hedgehog. That's what Radagast does. Next step, wood grain. 828. Probably one of the most useful paints you can ever get, this one. Fairly sure I've said this before, but I really do love the wood grain. It's great for wood, basically. So I've done the wooden parts, the branches underneath there, logs, and once that dries it's going to look really good. And I've got to do the leaves on these little logs here. Strange how they've got leaves growing out of dead logs, but there you go. It's a continuity issue there, I think. And do a bit more work on the hat and the gloves. And then we've got to work on the trousers and the underneath bits. But getting close now. So just on the herbs, leaves that he's got in his little man bag there, and the leaves on the logs. It's fun, as I say, it's funny how the logs are actually sprouting while he's jumping over them, because that's his magic. That's what he does. And to do that, I've just used a craft paint. It's sort of pea green, really. So it's nice and bright, quite good thickness on there, as in it's got lots of pigment in it. So just got this from a shop in the UK called Lidl, where they were selling a huge set of acrylic paints for not a lot of money. So I snapped them up. Let's have a look now. I've done basalt grey on the gloves and done a bit of a highlight in orange brown, which is this one, 981, on the hat, and also done that on the under trousers, we'll call them. So just waiting for that weight. There's a couple of layers under there actually, and I'm trying to just get different shades. I want to make them look very organic, very earthy with the clothing that he's wearing. So lots of browns, because he's Radagast the Brown, of course. Of course he's Radagast the Brown. The clue's in the name, kids. Here's a new one I'm throwing in, which is on the under trousers there. The one's on the top legs. So this is... I've thrown in a bit of orange brown on the bit above that, and now I've moved on to green ochre. So it's getting lighter each time. Still very organic and very nearly. I do like the way the green leaves are still shiny, because that's what I wanted, that effect. I don't think I'm going to do anything else on the leaves, but we've got left here. Just going to wait for this one to dry. I've got to do a bit of a red wash on the shins, and then do some highlight on the shins, and still got to do a little bit of work on the beard and some highlights on the underclothes. Nearly there, really. Let's just point at this so you know what I'm talking about. There's a change. Is the highlights on here and on this bit, which is that part of the clothing, and this bit under here, and also on the gloves as well, and a bit on the hedgehog. The hedgehog needs a little pink nose and a white throat, and we also need to put a blue stone in here, because Radagast, like Gandalf, puts in a magic crystal in the end of his staff. Done a lot more highlighting and made the beard lighter by doing some dry brushing and highlighting the raised parts. So he is getting very nearly there. There's I think the wash on the bag that he's carrying has brought out the detail as well quite nicely. There's a lot of detail on his cloak, so I think I'm going to dry brush that as well, because there's a lot of highlighted stuff that isn't quite coming out at the moment, or raised stuff rather. So I'm going to do that and do a bit more work on the hat, just put some highlights on the hat that he's wearing, and I still haven't done the blue stone in his staff either, so I'm about to do that. His hand, by the way, isn't white, it's just the light is catching the top of it. Although, then again, there is a little bit of white there, so I'll just touch that up as well. Now, I bought these a few years ago very, very cheaply, only a few quid, because I thought I'm surely going to have some use for them. And there's a blue in there, so I'm going to do the gem that he's got in his staff with that. I'm never going to use all of this paint, really, unless I can think of something creative to do with them. Just got them from a shop in the UK called Lidl, so if you're ever looking in there and you want something like this, they do them from time to time, but they have their uses. So you get there's a gold, a blue, a yellow, a green and a red, so I will find some uses for them. I've used them for a few little things, but there we go. Now, I just noticed as well, just looking at the base here, that there's some mushrooms underneath there. So I painted them red. I'm going to put some little white dots on them, and if you look underneath here, I'm not sure if you can make it out, but there's actually a spider under there that I painted black, which is a nice touch, because that's one of the things, of course, that tells Radagast that something is going seriously wrong in Mirkwood when lots of spiders start appearing. So nice little thought, and he's hidden so well underneath that log, but he is there, so bear that in mind when you're doing it. I have done a bit of dry brush on the coat now, and it's brought those up a lot better now. You can see the detail on the cloak a lot better. So very nearly there. The boots at the moment are black, but I'm going to go for brown on that. So I'm going to start highlighting them with brown. Leave some black on there, but put some black. So once that's done, and the gem in the staff, then he will be literally done. Just touched a little bit on the hedgehog. I might need to make him a bit browner. But I've just painted white bits on him to find the parts that I have to do. So yeah, I think he's going to have a brown face and a pink nose. And here he is completed. Done the gemstone in there, and I noticed, well, I've done the little mushrooms underneath there, so they were just, well, toadstools, so they were red with some little white dots on, and his little spider on the bottom there as well. So there you are, Radagast the Brown. Really fun to paint this guy. Might have overdone the red nose on the hedgehog, so I'll just do a little touch up on that. There you go, and the brown boots I've done as well. Brilliant stuff. Thanks for watching.